Hi, everybody. This is Tiffany Coulter and the Balanced Life podcast. I'm so happy to have you guys here. And for all the new viewers this week, welcome. I hope that you'll stick with us and that this week's podcast will be particularly helpful for you. I'm going to be talking about fixing the to-do list problem. I've got some notes here. I've got a to-do list. Because I want to make sure that I stay really on point and give you some very clear, actionable things. And this is a kind of a different topic for me on our podcast. So what I wanted to share with you today is the issue first that I see with to-do lists. A to-do list is where we kind of just start dumping on a piece of paper all the stuff that we either must do, would like to do, places we need to go. I need to go to the grocery, I need to go to the pharmacy, I need to pick up this thing, that thing, whatever it is in your life. Depending on what stage of life you're in, there's going to be any number of things that make up your to-do list. There's also going to be the individual tasks during the course of your work day. I've got to make my podcast, I got to write my blogs, I've got to write part of my new book, all the things for my job. You probably have the same thing. You may have a series of appointments, follow-up calls, all of those things. Here's the issue. Just me listing them, there's so much going on in your head. There's so much that you need to think about and process. And writing it on a to-do list, what actually happens is you end up constantly making all these small decisions all day long, and it exhausts you. Imagine this scenario. You are anything. I'll give you an example. You're an accountant and you just let people bring in all their paperwork and you just put it in a big pile and you go down through it and get it done. Actually, that's a bad example because you've got a list again. Let's say you're a therapist and you don't schedule appointments with your patients. You just see people as they come in. You have no opportunity to preview their background because you don't know who's in your lobby. You may have set times for your appointments, but you don't know how many people are going to be there. Are you going to be over there for 3 hours or 15 hours? If you just have a disorganized mess, it makes a disorganized mess and it exhausts you because you don't know clearly what you're going to do. On the other hand, think about if you go on a vacation or on a trip. Let's say even you go on a field trip as a participant, not as a leader. And you don't need to think about coordinating the buses. You don't need to think about where you're going to eat. You don't need to think about the tour guides. You don't need to worry about anything. You literally just follow the directions and you go where you go and you have a pleasant time because all day long, all of those decisions and questions and problems are dealt with for you. That's the difference between a to-do list and scheduling and making appointments for your tasks. So if you have a grocery list, you go to the grocery and as you go up and down the aisles, you'll grab the things. If you organize your grocery list, you'll probably save time and money because you'll just go straight to those things without meandering and finding, oh yeah, I think I am out of this thing that I almost never use. But you can just go quickly, and if you have it in order of the way the grocery store is laid out, you can get through there in a matter of minutes. Likewise with your own day. The extent to which you schedule out tasks, group things together that are easy to do together, and then execute, it relieves stress. You accomplish more, so you feel better, so you're more motivated to do more. And you're actually much more creative because your brain knows over time when you're doing particular things, especially if you do the same things at set times. So like if you're a creative person like me, where I'm constantly writing content and I'm reading materials and I'm writing new things and sharing things with people. I'm doing videos and podcasts and all the things. For me, if I know that I'm writing between about 8:30 and 11:30 every day and creating content, I'm thinking about it when I get up in the morning. I know what I'm going to be doing the next day and what some of the topics are. And so I might be jotting notes throughout the morning or the previous night as I think of little things, and then I pull them all together. This actually kind of I decided to make this my podcast today because I got home from doing some errands this morning and something came up and I had to hurry up and leave for an appointment. And on my way through the house, I was like, oh, I need to put that away. Oh, I need to charge my tablet. Oh, I got to do this thing. And I'm like, no, focus on the task at hand. Get this thing done. Those things can be done later. That's what happens when we have to-do lists. We look up and down. We go, oh, I can do this, but I can do that, but I have time for this, but I want to do that. And we go up and down. Instead, if you have an appointment, like I had an appointment today, I'm singularly focused on leaving the house and getting to that appointment on time. So, the same is true for your tasks. And here's how I suggest you do it. First, group appointments and tasks that are similar. So I try to group things like writing out the outlines for my podcasts, typing out my posts to Substack. If you haven't been at buildingthebalancedlife.substack.com, you need to go there. I'm starting to build more and more materials there, and it allows for a lot more interaction. Please keep coming to the podcasts. They'll also be housed over there so you can find them as well. But I really, really love this platform because it allows me to post things in a variety of formats. And it also allows me to interact with you a lot more and answer questions and even make them part of the podcast. So there's my little plug about my Substack page. I hope you'll go over there. But I do all of these things in a 3-hour block each morning because that's where I work best. And then I do like house stuff, errands, picking up, things that I need to do for my family, for my life in the afternoon. And then I do my exercising in the evening because for me, exercising makes me sleepy. It doesn't wake me up. I've talked about that on other things. You need to figure out what your rhythm is. Take the time for self-reflection and for thinking quietly, like when do I seem to be the most productive in these various things, and do those things then, and try very hard to not only do them, but to schedule when you'll do them. And then take the time. I actually have a Fitbit. It does not connect to my phone, so I don't get message alerts and all that. All I have is a timer and alarms on my Fitbit, and the typical stuff, pedometer, those kind of things. But this serves as my alarm when I'm working. I set a timer, I have 50 minutes or I have 75 minutes or I have 120 minutes, which is generally where I break projects up. And then I turn to the right. See, my computer is obviously here. To the right, there is no computer. There is no technology on that wall. I have my outlines and projects that I want to do on a magnetic board over there. And I turn this direction and I'm away from all of the distractions and I focus on doing these things. And then I open up my laptop, I open up the single window, and I don't go on the internet, and I start typing the creative things based on the outlines and notes that I've already written. That's how I work. Think about how you work best. Get a timer. I recommend you mute your phone other than the timer. I don't know how iPhones work. I don't like Apple products. Yes, send the hate mail in the comments below. But I don't like Apple products. I've worked with them before, so I don't know those very well. I don't know what you can do, but I have an Android phone and I am able to make it so it's muted. And the only people that can get through is my husband, who would only contact me during the day in an emergency because he's a nurse, so he's not able to just, call for funsies. So he would never interrupt. And my alarm. Those are the only two things that can make noise. So I build a bubble around that day and time because, and this was hard for me because I have adult children and many things that I worry about. But what I realized is I have appointments throughout the month that I have to go to. And when I'm meeting with these people, I do take an hour or two for the meeting, during which time my phone is silenced and down in my bag. I have no idea what anybody might be saying or doing. Like I said, my watch is not connected to my phone. So I'm in complete isolation. If I can do that for someone else, I can do that for myself. Okay, end of lecture. So this is the quick and easy way that you're going to put this together. First of all, you're going to schedule time to do things. You're going to determine when you're most productive. You're going to do the things that require the most thinking there. And then you're going to Cascading priority. Then you're going to take like when it's best for you to do errands, and you're going to schedule that there. This is assuming you work from home. Obviously, this has to work within the confines of your personal schedule. And I did have to adjust this when I was working full-time out of the house, and then I had a second job as a developmental content editor in the evenings, which was a creative thing. In the evenings, it wasn't as easy for me to do it. So I scheduled a bit more time because I knew I wouldn't be on my A game. I'd be more tired, but I still scheduled it. And I scheduled what section I was going to do. And when that section was done, I was done for the day. That's the key. You need to get good about breaking things down, about knowing how long it takes you to do something and plotting it into that time. So group things, schedule things. So I will give myself, an hour to write the first draft of my blog for my Substack. And then I'll give myself maybe 30 minutes to put together the outline and the topics that I want to have for a podcast. And then maybe 2 hours to write out a script for one of my YouTube videos, which I would write from beginning to end. I would do the revisions and everything all at once. On a day that I'm recording, I may only do creative stuff for 2 hours and then do recording for the rest of the day, however long that is, anywhere from a couple hours to 8 hours, depending on the day. But the big thing is that I'm scheduling these things like with like. So when I bring in my lights and everything and I get them all set up, I'm not doing that back and forth. I've got all my writing done so that I can do all my video recording another day. So I can do all of my editing and posting and scheduling my posts another day. And my day is able to flow professionally. Then personally, I'm doing all my work during a set part of the day. I'm attending to my personal needs within my house, errands that I need, grocery shopping, all the little things, walking the dog, getting exercise during set times, and I allocate when that time is. Now, this is not easy, especially when you're starting. Yesterday, I only managed to accomplish one major thing that was really important to me, but I did get it done. I had to stay in the office 4 extra minutes. I had a timer set on my watch. I stayed past 4 extra minutes because I was, just finishing the upload process, but I got that thing done. And that was something I had been trying to do for almost a week. Today, I had that unexpected appointment pop up that I had to rush back out the door when I had just gotten home from doing some errands. And now I'm back in here and I'm getting together the podcast because I have my stuff grouped. So all I have to do is walk in here and grab the first thing on my to-do list. And although the allocated time is shifted off and I'm going to have to move something to the next day, I also allow for that. Thursdays are always makeup days on my schedule, and Fridays are creative development days. So I kind of have a 2-day pad to work stuff in. Try to allow yourself to have that as well. Okay, so I hope that you've pulled some detailed things. I did want to let you know I am working on a course over on my Substack. It's called Life by Design. And over on my Substack, things are free. It's a free subscription. I have weekly content that I put up, plus I put little notes up throughout the day. I have 4 different Substacks, but this one is Building the Balanced Life. .substack.com. This is going to be over on the paid side, but I am going to be offering a 7-day free trial of that side. So make sure you're signed up for the free side when I send that out, because once I put that up, I'm going to be sending it out to all the free people on my Substack to have a 7-day free trial so they can take advantage of this course if they would like to. And if you're not on it, then you'll miss it. And I'll send out a different one in another month. But hopefully you have gotten something out of this. I would love if you would share with me how you manage to stay focused, get over the decision fatigue that you get from making all these little micro decisions all day long, going up and down your to-do list. And also share with how you manage time. Because, we fill the container. However much time we allow ourselves, that's how much time we take. How do you bring yourself in and force yourself to focus and get things done faster, more efficiently, and with better quality? I've shared some of my ideas. I'd love for you to share yours. Also, let me know if there's things that you would like to hear me speak on. The easiest way to reach me is on my Substack or on my website contact page. But hey, also leave comments below. I certainly respond to those. Thanks again. I will see you next week on our podcast where we're going to be in the second half of February already. I don't even know how that happened. Have a blessed day. Bye.